my philosophy on teaching is to try as much as possible to get the students actively involved in the material. So I don't like just standing up and providing the material. I like to get the students to get stuck in and really get to grips with the material themselves. So active learning as much as possible.
Well, I suppose one example that comes to mind is a large first year course that I teach. So there'll be almost 400 students in that course from 38 different degree programs. So they're a very diverse mix. And they don't know that many people in the classroom. I meet them pretty much on day one. So I wanted to introduce an assignment that would help them get to know each other and become a bit more comfortable with the material. So what I decided to do was break up the course into kind of bite-sized pieces. And the students divide into groups and they take a particular topic, and then they go off and they research that topic. So for example, let's say chapters 2 to 4 in the textbook, and they try and recreate those chapters in a more accessible, amenable way. So essentially they read ahead of me, read ahead of what I do in the lecture and on those particular chapters, and they present them in a better way. So they might put together a video, a board game, and we've had radio files, jigsaws, the whole works, you name it. And it really gets, I suppose, to be able to do that, the students have to be very comfortable with the material. So they have to be able to understand it and represent it in a more accessible way. So this is a theory in economics called the theory of diminishing marginal utility. And essentially it means the more and more you consume of something, the less enjoyment you get out of each extra bit. So what I do is I bring a bag of chocolate to the lecture, and I ask for a couple of volunteers to come down and eat some chocolate. And basically, they're supported by their classmates who cheer them on to eat chocolate for about a minute, I'd say. And then what we do is we say, how nice was the first chocolate? And they say, 10 out of 10. How nice was the second chocolate? And it generally decreases after that. And then as a class, we plot their enjoyment of each chocolate. And it kind of perfectly illustrates the theory. And it's one that the students don't forget quickly.
She receives very high praise from her colleagues, and I'll just quote one of them. She not only ensures that colleagues change their teaching, she leads us to want to change. Indeed, thanks to her, we learn to learn.
The Central European University cannot be praised enough for their fantastic efforts at highlighting the importance of good teaching and for acknowledging the dedication that teaching involves. In fact, the CEU, through this award, is pioneering a reform of how academics and the general public view teaching at university level and is leading this excellence by example. As the only European-level award to recognise the value of teaching, the CEU clearly stands head and shoulders above the rest in terms of dedication and promotion of excellence in teaching at third level. Thus, I would like to finish up by saying a huge thank you to the CEU for the creation of this award and how I am so incredibly humbled by the honour of being the first recipient.